This class is so messed up for this. It's middle school science, and this teacher is a sweet older woman. She's soft-spoken, she's always kind, she truly cares about her students. She's one of the good ones. Well, one year she bought every single one of her students their own pencil case with her own money. She filled them with rulers, pencils, erasers, everything they could possibly need. Class, no need to bring supplies, I got you. Okay, so each of her students has these full pencil cases, and one day she steps out for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. Snap, thud, whip. The students start chucking these pencil cases across the room, snapping rulers, breaking pencils, breaking the zippers, and they're all laughing like maniacs. She just walks back in, and she freezes. Wait, what happened? No one answers. She picks up a broken pencil case and holds it in her hands, and she just starts crying in front of everybody. What? Would you guys do this? Why would you guys do this? Super messed up. Well, the next day she comes into class. She says this. Class, I'm so sorry for getting upset yesterday. That was not good of me. I should have been more composed. I just wanted you guys to have everything you needed, okay? Anyway, I brought you all some candy. And then she gave them candy. Dude, they were the ones that should have apologized to her. She was one of the best teachers in that school. And students who were in that class say that this messes them up to this day, which it should. This is absolutely insane. So Rampart High School was a blue ribbon school. Good grades, solid reputation, but they had barely any money. So the principal has an idea to rent out the gymnasium to make some extra cash. And someone comes up, they want to use it on a Saturday. They say it's just a small event. The guy says, yeah, it's for a church dance, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., 1,000 people max. Well, Saturday night hits, and it's a full-blown rave. Lights, fog machines, thumping bass, it's packed. Over 5,000 people show up. People are drinking, there's a bunch of other crazy stuff going on, and this isn't just a rumor, it was on the news. Here's the article. See, 5,000 people. What is this? The superintendent said this was a major mistake, and that they were manipulated by these guys. The rave went on from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. all frickin' night. The company that threw the rave said that they never lied, and that kids will be kids, but come on, who would do this? After the rave, the gym was completely destroyed, and I mean like destroyed. The floors, the bleachers, everything. The gym could not be used for the rest of the school year. People start calling the school Ravepart instead of Rampart, and whenever a student from the school's choir sings the national anthem at a school event, they always end it with this. And the home of the rave. Home of the rave. Yo, do you sell gum? Nah, it's a subscription service. And that's what he called it, a gum subscription box. It all started because school banned gum, a hard ban. You got caught, detention, no questions asked. So this kid, Dorian, he builds a workaround. He doesn't sell gum directly. Like there's no handoffs in the hallway, none of that stuff. Instead, he offers subscriptions. You pay him on Monday, and every morning that week, a sealed envelope shows up in your locker. Inside, exactly what you ordered. Each envelope was coded by flavor. Green dot, spearmint. Pink dot, bubblegum. Orange dot, citrus. He called it drop-safe packaging. He never handled gum during the school day, only in the mornings, and he never spoke with customers after Monday. So they would give him their orders. Yeah, I want my weekly subscription. Every day I want 2 spearmint and 1 citrus. Bet you. By week 3, half the 7th grade was on a plan. Teachers start noticing gum under desks, students secretly chewing gum in class, but no one ever sees where the gum comes from. They assumed it was coming from somebody because there was hardly any gum-related incidents before, and all of a sudden, everyone's chewing gum and there's gum under a bunch of desks. So they started pressing. Where'd you get this? I don't know, it was in my locker. They tried to trace it back, but these envelopes were very mysterious. Well, this is how everything ended. He was caught by a parent. A mom found one of his subscription envelopes in the laundry. She thought it was something very shady and she called the school. The admins did some investigating and they found some students who they pressed, and they snitched. This kid got shut down. In-school suspension for 3 days, and he had to write apology letters. But in just under a month, he made over $400. You gotta respect the hustle. Attendance office. Yeah, I'm calling about the high school for sale. Excuse me? So this kid lists the entire high school on Craigslist. Yep, puts it up there just like a house. Multiple acres, Olympic-sized track, full gym, swimming pool, great natural light. And for the contact number, he puts down the attendance office. On purpose, because everyone hated the receptionist. So for the next 3 days, she's just picking up like, attendance office. Yeah, I saw the listing for the property. Is it still available? What listing? The high school for sale with a pool? Call after call, people asking for showings. One one guy said, "Hey, I'm thinking about turning the gym into my own personal dojo. And hey, maybe you could even stop by once it's ready. What do you say, huh? You, me, champagne? Huh?" Oh my god. It got so bad the school had to change the number of the attendance office permanently because these calls kept coming in. And the kid, he never confessed. To that school, he remained anonymous. And there were some copycat Craigslist ads after that, so the calls never really stopped for a while. It eventually fizzled out, but every time that phone rang, the receptionist's heart would sink. That's actually hilarious. You wrote her up for being sad? She was off task. She was human! You should try it sometime. So this girl's having a rough week. Family stuff, friend drama, just life. She sits down in third period, math class. Doesn't say a word, just starts doing her warm-up problems, but tears are falling from her eyes, quiet and soft. The teacher then walks over to her. "Hi, do you need to go to the nurse? Or are you gonna disrupt my class all period?" The girl doesn't respond, she just wipes her face and keeps writing. Alright, disruption it is. She writes her up, a full-blown referral. Disruption to learning environment. Ignoring teacher. She then sent her out into the hallway. Not the counselor, not the nurse, to the hallway. And told her to stay there. Later, she shows her mom the slip. "Oh my god, sweetie, this is not okay. They punished you for having feelings?" The next morning, the mom shows up to the front office. She then walks to the classroom. Class has already started. The teacher looks up. "Oh, so crying is disruptive now? You ever heard of empathy, or did they leave that out of your training?" "This isn't the time or the place." "No, I think it is. You humiliated my daughter for feeling something, and you made it public when you wrote her up in front of the entire class." The students are dead silent. Some of them on the edge of their seat like they're watching a frickin' courtroom drama. "Print a new referral, this time with your name on it. Come on, sweetie, let's go." And she takes her daughter home for the rest of the day. Please tell me y'all don't have teachers like this, because that's messed up. E minus? That's just a B in a tuxedo. Oh, what? So this kid turns in an essay. He gets it back a few days later. A minus. Solid, clean grade. He's feeling good until he gets in the car and shows his mom. Why is it not an A plus? I don't know, it's still an A. An A minus is just a fancy B. You're rewriting it. So that night, he rewrites the entire thing. Adds more quotes, changes the intro, tightens everything up. Next day, he turns it in again. The teacher's confused, but she said she'll take a look at it. 2 days later, the same result. Still an A minus. He shows his mom. "You are doing it again." "You're joking, right?" "Not until you get 100. Fix your tone, fix your grammar, and fix your mindset." He rewrites it again, turns it in. This is the third version. And the teacher pulls him aside. "Hey, why do you keep resubmitting this? Your paper was excellent." "I know, I'm just trying to survive, ma'am." She gives him the exact same grade, A minus again. He turns it into his mom. She just sighs and says, "I give up. You must have done something wrong." And that's the day he learned. Sometimes it's not about the grade. It's about your mom's permanent disappointment. Poor kid. "Hey, you coming to gym class?" "Nah, man, I got court." "Wait, what?" This kid, 7th grade, shows up to school one day in a full-blown suit. Tie, dress shoes, everything. He's carrying a briefcase. Everyone's confused, and he just goes, "I got court during gym class today." Turns out, this kid started a full-blown student court system. He printed a summons, he made a self-made courtroom in the corner of the library, and he even made a logo. Every charge was student-related. Chewing annoyingly with your mouth open, cutting the lunch line, stealing pencils, and you could plead guilty or go to trial. "State your case." "She skipped me in line. Do you have any witnesses?" "Yes, Your Honor, 5 of them." People start requesting trials for dumb stuff. The teachers hear about it, and they think it's absolutely hilarious. Until one day, this kid was messing around and tried to summon the principal to court. For what? For having a terrible haircut. Yeah, the principal didn't take this very well, and he obviously shut it down right then and there. In total, this kid held 17 court cases. I don't know where he got out of all this, but it's honestly genius. Alright boys, time to confess your sins. I just want to play Mario Kart. So one time, this kid got invited to a sleepover, and it was pretty normal until bedtime. At exactly 9 p.m., this mom walks into the kid's room with a clipboard. Big smile, and she says, "Okay boys, time to log your sins for the day." This kid thought she was joking. No. She passes out worksheets to the 2 kids. The top of the page says daily sin accountability. Bro, what if I didn't sin today? Everybody sins every day. Just think of something. So they're sitting there. This kid's half asleep. His friend is writing very jubilantly, like this is a normal thing for him, because it is. This mom does this to them every night. And he's there just trying to think of what's going on. So he's writing stuff like, took the last Pop-Tart, thought about punching Gavin today, laughed when Gavin fell off the couch. It was a full confession session, and the mom was taking notes. And if you forgot something, she would help you. Did you think anything bad today at all? I am right now. What? Nothing? They weren't allowed to go to bed until the mom was convinced that they had every sin accounted for. The next morning, he woke up and he noticed that the mom had put their sins on the fridge, like a leaderboard. He never went to that house ever again. And honestly, I wouldn't either. That's freaking creepy. So this guy's at a crowded park, and there's a bunch of food trucks set up. There's no tables, no benches. Everyone's just sitting and eating on this concrete wall. Well, there's only one open spot left, and he begins walking towards it. And as he gets closer to this wall, he sees this lady rushing towards it. And she's dressed pretty nice, like she just left church or something. She begins jogging, but he beats her there. He walks up to the wall, and right behind it, in the grass, is a huge pile of dog poop, right where your butt would be if you leaned back too much. So naturally, he decides not to sit down. And at that point, she storms up behind him and says,
"Seriously? I was gonna sit there."
"Go ahead, have a seat." And she sits down. And then 2 seconds later, she screams. She stands up and this dog poop is smeared all over her back. Oh, she says to this guy,
"Why didn't you say anything to me?"
"I didn't know how you were gonna sit down. I thought you were just gonna perch on the ledge like a normal person." And she storms off, furious. But like she did try to race him there. At Logan's house, there was one rule. Don't go near the piano room, ever. His mom said it was off limits, for emotional reasons. His dad called it a sacred space. And anytime a guest walked past the room, the family would act weird. Nothing to see in this room. One time, Logan's friend leaned on the door and the mom freaked out. So I was thinking that we can go to the, Hey! Oh, no. Well, that night during the sleepover, Logan admitted something. Yo, I've actually never been in the room myself either. You've never been in that room? No. Well, around 2 a.m., Logan's friend who was sleeping over just couldn't handle it anymore, so he got up and he snuck to the piano room. And then he opened the door. And that's when we saw it. Logan's dad was inside wearing a tuxedo, sitting at a grand piano, his fingers hovering above the keys. He wasn't playing, his fingers were just doing this. He then said, "Get out of here," and closed the door. Okay. He slammed the door shut and went back to sleep. He later found out that Logan's dad had a very weird obsession with grand pianos, and apparently that time of night was his sacred time, so I don't know. Super weird. What is this? Oh, you weren't supposed to see that. So this one teacher, she always had a little black notebook on her desk. Said it was for classroom notes. Everybody assumed it meant grades or it was like a behavior log. No one thought twice, but it wasn't that. It was a burn book. Straight up page after page, trashing her students, all by name. One kid was labeled future con artist. One was 5th period manipulator, crybaby. One entry said, can't read social cues. Parents are either clueless or stupid. Like real crazy stuff. And nobody knew until parent-teacher conferences. One mom is sitting down at this teacher's desk for the meeting. The teacher had been flipping through some papers before and left the tiny little notebook open without even realizing it. She gets up and she says, "One second, I think I left your son's quiz folder in the copy room. I'll be right back." She leaves. The mom's sitting there, waiting. She glances at the teacher's desk, and she sees her kid's name at the top of a page of a tiny notebook. Manipulative, fake with adults, should be bullied, total snake? What is this? She flips a page, another student, then another, just tons of students being roasted in this little notebook by the teacher. She goes to the hallway and flags the parents in who are waiting for their time slot for the conference. By the time the teacher walks back in, all these parents are huddled around her desk reading this little black notebook. She was caught, red frickin' handed. All the teacher could say was this: conferences are over. She grabs a little notebook, puts it in her purse, and she leaves the room. And suddenly the teacher is on leave. And she's the stupid one, because the moment you write stuff down like that, you better be prepared for somebody to read it. And they did. That's nuts. Oh my gosh, we made our first $2. No, we actually made $1. We gotta pay the security guard. Here. In some neighborhoods, kids run lemonade stands. You know, cute little summer businesses, 50 cents a cup, smiles all around. Not on this block though. On this block, you needed protection. Every Saturday in this one neighborhood cul-de-sac area, these kids would all set up their lemonade stands. Some were different. Some had like strawberry lemonade, others had regular lemonade, some was selling like fruit punch. You know, it was a nice little thing that the neighborhood kids were doing. Anyway, they'd be all set up and they're good to go. But then here comes this 8th grader. Bike gloves on, backpack over one shoulder. He pulls up to the first stand. Nice stand he got here. Good traffic spot, nice weather today. Would be a shame if someone knocked it over. The little girl selling lemonade just blinks. She's almost gonna cry. But then her friend says, just give him one of our dollars. Hey, it's just a protection fee, okay? Covers you for the whole day. Accidents happen, you know. have a good one. And he goes to the next one. You guys paying for protection today? You know, kids are scrambling, they're digging in their shoebox of change. Hands over $1, he nods, pleasure doing business with you. And just like that, he's off to the next lemonade stand. Kid made $12 in fees that Saturday alone. Now, this guy wouldn't just take the money and leave. And although he came off kind of tough and mean, he actually would stay there all day and watch over these lemonade stands. So I guess they actually were paying for protection. Now, it was a pretty nice neighborhood, so nothing ever actually happened. But, hey, you know, you gotta respect the hustle, I guess. Water's a reward. You don't just get it because you're thirsty. This house is a desert. At this house, water wasn't a right. It was a privilege. Every day after school, this kid had the same rule. No exceptions. Drop your backpack, sit at the table, and do your homework. No TV, no snacks, no water. His mom would say it every day. Water is a reward, not a right. Well, one day he gets home absolutely dying of thirst. He makes a quiet move towards the kitchen. He almost reaches the faucet. Don't even think about it. She's already standing there, arms crossed. Homework first. So he's at the kitchen table, math textbook open, mouth dry as sandpaper, watching the faucet drip. 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 He finishes his homework, he gives it to her. Messy work. Do it again. Bro almost passed out right there. When he finally earned a glass of water, she handed it to him like a prize at a carnival. Here's your water. You did really good. The next day at school, he took extra water fountain breaks because he never knew how his mom would act when he got home from school. It was supposed to be a normal lunch period, but 5 minutes later, the principal was on the floor. This happened at high school. Two senior girls lock eyes. You told him I cheated? Yeah, because you did. People are starting to notice what's going down. The cafeteria gets quiet. One of the girls picks up a carton of chocolate milk and dumps it on the other girl's head. And it begins. The hair pulling, the smacking. Get off me. You are so dead. Lunch trays are flying around, people are backing up. The principal comes running in. Hey, break it up. That's when one of the bigger of the seniors just clocks him right in the gonads. He drops, the whole cafeteria gasps, and then she climbs on a table. You want drama? I'll give you drama. No. A full-blown elbow drop. Kids are screaming, some are cheering, most of them are recording, and that was the day of lunchroom beef turned into a full-blown wrestling match. Nobody forgot that day, ever. Especially the principal. So you're all just gonna roast me? It's called growth, sweetie. This one mom had a rule for birthdays. No cake, no presents, not until after the truth session. Every year, the birthday kid had to sit in the middle of the living room, while each family member, siblings, parents, sometimes even grandma, went around and shared one thing they did not like about the birthday kid. You interrupt too much. You always finish the milk and leave the carton in the fridge. I hate you, grandson. It was a roast, but it wasn't funny. One year, this kid Daniel, he turned 11. He walked into the living room already nervous. All right, let's begin. First up was his little sister. You yelled at me when I was on your Minecraft world. Then his mom. You've gotten lazy with your posture this year. Then Dad. You've been selfish lately, son. Just think about that. Daniel's eyes start to water. Oh no, don't cry. This is to help you, not to hurt you. You may have your cake now. Go. And he barely touched the cake. The next year, Daniel pretended to be sick on his birthday to try to get out of this whole thing. But the mom just moved the truth session to his room, and they did it bedside. They said it was character building. He said it was the worst tradition of his life. Wait, are we friends, or am I just your study guide? What? So this girl's like super smart. She's always making group projects super easy. She shares her notes, she always helps her friends study, and she doesn't complain. But one day she noticed something. Nobody texts her unless it's about school. Nobody invites her to anything, nobody asks her how she's doing. Just stuff like, hey, what's the answer to number 4? Can you send me the notes, please? Hey, do you have the homework from yesterday? But then she realized the group chat she's in with all her friends, they only ever talk about the homework, and she finds out that there's a separate group chat that she's not even in. She didn't even get invited to Kayla's birthday party. The next day at lunch, she sits down with her group of friends. She looks them all in the eye and she says, quick question, who here knows my birthday? Or my mom's name? Or my dog's name? Or my middle name? Dead silence. One girl mumbles, isn't your birthday like December 25th? That's Christmas Day. And no. Oh, I love Christmas. The girl then stands up and says, well, you guys can figure out your own homework answers, study help on your own, okay? I'm out and I am done with all of you. Fine, we don't need you. Except they definitely did. After that day, they kept blowing up her phone when they needed homework or test help, and she just ignored it. Screw those friends. She made a new group of friends that actually appreciates her for who she is. Yo, I think the cap fell off the milk. Oh, we always keep it like that. It's so the milk can breathe. I'm not drinking that. It was this dude's first time visiting his friend's house, and everything seemed normal for like 5 seconds, you know. He walks into the kitchen and he notices that there are no lids on anything. No cap on the milk, no lid on the orange juice. Peanut butter jar open, the soap bottle open. Hey, you guys forgot to put the lids back on, everything. Nah, bro, my mom says lids trap bad energy. Everything's gotta breathe. Even the milk. Especially the milk. He watches in horror as his friend pours himself a glass of milk from the open jug. He sits down for dinner, and he notices this kid's mom is bringing over a jar of spaghetti that's been sitting out on the stove all day without a lid. And earlier in the day, he saw flies around it. She notices this kid's uncomfort. Oh, don't worry, sweetie. This is all still good. It just had to breathe all day. At one point, he looks over to the kitchen counter and he sees the dog licking the butter that's sitting on the open butter tray. Hey, what? And nobody's saying a word about it. Throughout the entire meal, he's pushing his food around, pretending that he's eating it, but he's not gonna touch this stuff. And everybody else is chowing down like it's a Thanksgiving meal. After that, he always gave an excuse whenever he was invited back to that house. Oh, sorry, my mom said I can't, leave the house on Tuesdays. Because to him, one visit to the no-lid house was enough for a lifetime. Yeah. I agree. This has to be the weirdest sleepover ever. Everything was chill until about 6 p.m. Sleepover's been going smooth, pizza, Mario Kart, chillin'. Then suddenly his friend goes, oh, my stomach hurts. At first he just shrugs it off. By 7 p.m., it got worse. On the floor, groaning. His mom's panicking. Honey, are you okay? It hurts so bad. We're going to the ER right now. That's when he says, wait, what about me? You stay here with Grandma, sweetie. Bye. What? Door slams, tires screech, they're gone. Hello there. I'm Grandma. Hi. Wanna watch Wheel of Fortune? Sure. My insides are on fire! We're almost there. Stay with me, sweetie. Stay with me. What you knitting? Well, I'm making you a hat, my dear. Awesome. Somebody help, my son is dying. I have lasagna and cookies for us. It smells amazing. Count backwards from 10, please. 10. 9. Good. Scalpel. Oh dear, I'm tired too. Look at that, it's 8:30 p.m. Past our bedtime. Why don't you head upstairs, go to sleep. I'll head to my room. See you in the morning, dear. Sweet dreams, Grandma. And that's how a kid had the best night of his life with his friend's grandma, while his friend was in the hospital having surgery because his appendix burst. Who could have saw that coming? The legend of this school wasn't a student. It was the gym teacher, Mr. Lev. One day, during morning drop-off, he's out by the curb, helping kids get into the school, while a bus pulls in too sharp and hits him. Full body contact. All right, guys, head on in there, bell's about to ring. Oh, no. He goes flying. Like, it looked pretty bad. Everyone in the bus is screaming, oh my god, you killed him! Oh god. But what does Mr. Lev do? He stands up, walks onto the bus and goes, is everybody okay in here? Yeah. Are you? Oh, I'm fine. You guys should get inside. The bell's about to ring. And then just walks it off like nothing happened. From that day forward, he was untouchable. Like school-wide Chuck Norris energy. Now, a few years after graduation, there was this crazy rumor that Mr. Lev got fired for soaking raisins in vodka and drinking them throughout the day. Which people are pretty sure that wasn't true, but still, he was fired. Well, years later, somebody saw his obituary. He had passed away. But people who knew him said that Mr. Lev was loved. He was like the Terminator. The only teacher to get hit by a bus and finish his shift. Rest in peace, Mr. Lev. Rest in peace. Yo, what is that? Oh, that just happens sometimes. Don't worry about it. Okay. This kid's standing in the lunch line. Bored, hungry, then he sees it. Something's moving by the nachos. It's tiny, it's hard to see, but something is definitely moving by the nachos. He squints and looks a little closer. Tiny legs, tiny wings, bugs everywhere. But it's just right at the cracks. Like he noticed it, but other people might not have. He pulls out his phone and zooms in. Oh, it's worse than he thought. The next station, the pizza station, same thing. He's zooming in the cracks, and there's just bugs crawling around everywhere. He shows the lunch lady. Ma'am, we got a situation here. Oh, that's just the way it is sometimes. Excuse me? He's like, I bet, and he goes to the principal's office. Shows the principal. He looks at the pictures, and the principal's acting kind of suspicious now as well. Well, thanks for letting me know. You can delete those pictures now. We're gonna take care of this. Kid's like, you sure, man? Yeah, it's handled. Appreciate it. Go back to class. Delete them. We're good. Kid nods and he walks out, but he did not delete those pictures at all. That night, he posts the pictures online and he tags the school and the health department. By 7 a.m. the next morning, parents are blowing up the school's phones, emails flying, screenshots posted everywhere. It's a mess. At lunch, the cafeteria is like chained off. The health inspector's there. Full-blown investigation. Shortly after that, the principal gets on the loudspeaker. Effective immediately, lunch service is suspended until further notice. And once the health inspector got an even closer look, school had to be shut down for 4 days. Kid's a legend. And to this day, they still call that the Great Cafeteria Shutdown. Is this gym class? Worse. Mascot tryouts. It started with a flyer. Mascot tryouts, Friday, gymnasium. Winner gets the suit. There was a few sign-ups on the sheet already, but this one freshman was really taking this seriously. He wanted to be the mascot. So he attends the tryouts. He shows up in gym shorts and he brought a water bottle. He's ready to wave, dance, and maybe do a backflip or something. Whatever mascots do, you know? Well, he walks in and the bleachers are packed. The gym is set up like a full-blown obstacle course. We're talking cones, hurdles, floor mats, tunnels. And the seniors are lining the walls, each of them holding a dodgeball. He's confused. He's like, what the heck is this? Well, one student with a clipboard stands up and shouts, "Contestant 7, step up, please." And that's him. He steps up to the line and he's about to go through this obstacle course. The whistle blows. The first section, crawl under chairs without tipping them. Easy. Next were the hurdles. He clears them. Then he hits the gauntlet. He has to get from one side of the gym to the other. But as he crosses, the seniors with the dodgeballs are chucking it at him. Well, he tucks and he sprints. He takes one to the face. But he keeps moving. He makes it through and the gym is going crazy. The final challenge is called Protect the Cone. It's a single orange traffic cone sitting on a mat. They hand him a foam baton and say, all right, final challenge, don't let anyone touch the cone for 30 seconds. Okay. And suddenly students are charging towards the cone from every direction. He spins, dives, blocks one with his leg, and time. The gym erupts. Then quiet. The judges, who are just seniors in safety vests, they huddle up. Judges, come on. So what do we think? Huh? After a few seconds, one of them yells, "We have a new mascot!" They hand him the suit. They tell him first game's on Friday. And he shows up. And he absolutely crushes it. Yo, did they lock the vending machine? Yeah, after what happened to Steven. What happened to Steven? So this kid Steven, 7th grader, he's got a total sweet tooth. Well, one day during lunch, he brings like $15 in change. Dumps it in the vending machine and he goes to town. 6 honey buns, 2 Pop-Tarts, and a pack of powdered donuts. Back to back to back to frickin' back. Now a teacher walks by and says, "Hey, that's a lot of sugar, buddy." It's my money and it's my stomach. 2 periods later, Steven is in PE and he's running laps when suddenly he stops dead in his tracks. Hands on knees, face pale, and then he pukes everywhere. Like a full cinnamon glaze explosion all over the gym floor. Janitor shows up unfazed because, of course, janitors are freaking awesome. Well, after that, the principal has a full-on panic attack. The school blames the vending machines. The next morning, padlocks are on both machines, all the snacks have been taken out, and there's a sign there. Until further notice, snacks are suspended. Now kids are furious with Steven, like he's a freaking honey bun villain. Every time Steven walks down the hallway, "Thanks a lot, Steven. Really could've used a Pop-Tart today, man. Screw you." Tried to apologize, but it was too late. Once the snacks had gone, there was no coming back. Poor kid. "Hey, yo, what's your name?" "Why?" "Just answer the question, man." So at this one high school, there's this senior named Jordan, and he's not just popular, he's influential. Like, if he were to wear pajama pants to school one day, the next day, half the school would also be wearing pajama pants. If he calls you something in the hallway, people would hear it, and that's your name now, and he knows that. "Hey, your name? Emily? Cool, that'll be $5. What? You can pay me $5 or I pick something else. You'll pick a different name for me, like what? You don't want to find out." At first, people think he's joking, until one poor kid refuses to pay, and is known as Meat Wallet for the rest of the semester. Even the sub called him that one day. After that, everyone started paying. "Yo, did you get a name yet?" "Yeah, I paid him yesterday. I'm Connor now. But your name is Connor. Exactly. Thank God I paid him. By homecoming, he made over $200. One kid's name is still Pockets, and no one knows why. This was a pretty small town school, so that's probably why something like this was flying around. But in the end, he wasn't just selling names. He was selling protection from pure humiliation. Weird hustle, but I respect it. Please, I'll eat anything else, just not this. No, that is your tray, and that is your banana. Eat it. This kid goes to a small private school, the kind where everybody knows everybody, and lunch is always the same. Same trays, same rotations, and the same lunch aides watching over the room. Well, there was this one lunch aide, and for some reason, she did not like this kid at all. She never said it out loud, but you could tell. It was obvious. Other kids could toss their full milk away, leave veggies on their trays, just waste food. But him, for some reason, she watched his tray every single day, making sure he eats every last bit of food on the tray, which is absolutely insane in my opinion. Well, one day the school serves bananas, and this kid hates bananas. Can't stand the smell, he doesn't even like to touch them. He pushes the banana to the side and starts eating the rest of his food, hoping she wouldn't notice because he knows how she is. And here she comes. She stands right next to him and points to his tray. Eat the banana. I don't like bananas. Doesn't matter, you're not getting up till that tray is empty, young man. Can I give it to somebody else, please? No, it's your lunch. You eat what you were served. While everyone else finishes eating, the table clears out, lunch is over, and he's still sitting there just staring at the banana. Eventually, he picks it up, takes one bite, and gags. He tries again, he gags again, and he throws up right there in the table. You're absolutely pathetic. Then she says this, go to class, and next time, don't make such a big scene. That lady is the worst.
ওগো কতদিন ধরে তোমার লগে আমি কথা কইতাছি মাগার
কি করো নাইকা হ্যাঁ আরো থেকে আউনের পর থেকে কি করতাছো ফোনের ভিতরে হামদাই রইছো
আব্বাই তো মা গো মা আব্বাই তো দেখি হেভি পাঙ্খ
নিশ্চয়ই কোনো ভেজাল আছে ওই দেখি কার লগে ফিল্ডিং মারতে
কি আবার সকাল সকাল ঘুম ভালো হইছে তোমার আব্বার লগে দেখা কইরা এলাম হাইটটা গেছিলাম এই ঘটনা
তুমি রাগ করো না
রাগ তো তুমি করবা খারা খারা চা দাও
আমি তো ভাবছি ডাকাত করছে নি
এই শাহজাহানগর বাড়িতে ডাকাত আইবো এমন কোন মায়ালাল পয়দা হইছে নি তোমার বিছানা আমি ভিজায়া দিছি গা
এটা তুমি কি করছো
কি করছি ঘুমাইবা না
তোমার পূর্বপুরুষের মাথায় কি সমস্যা ছিল আব্বা
নাটকের পর কয় কি শুনছো ওই বেটা
আব্বা জান আপনার পোলারে এখন জিগান তো রুটি গরম না ঠান্ডা
বাপ রে বাপ শুনছো নি একেবারে ডর দেয় তো বলে খুশি খুশি করে কাটতো হয়েছে আপনার ডর আপনার পকেটে থুয়া দেন খানদানটা আমার কত উচ্চা দেখতে হইব না
দেখতেছি তো উঁচা ভি আর লম্বা ভি কুচি কুচি করে না কাইটা ফেলাইছি আব্বা আমার তো মনে করে যখন ডর দেখাইতে দেখাইতে আমি দেখেন আপনি কি করি ঘরে আইলাম না এখন দেন না আসমানে ঠাড়াল্লাহ একেবারে কাঁপায়া দিমু
আচ্ছা আপনার
ফাইনাল ডিসিশন লয়ে লইছি আজকে রাতে কিন্তু আপনার লগেই ঘুমাবো
আমার লগে কেন বাজান আপনি আমার লগে ঘুমাইবেন কেন
জিন্দেগি তুই এই ডার পোষাইতে পারবি না বাজার তোর আমি সাবিয়া দিতাছি তুই জলদি
ক্যাচেল লাগাইছে
মা তুই এক কাম কর জামাই লইয়া শ্বশুর বাড়ি জাগা ওন মা শ্বশুর
এই তো একেবারে বাঘের বাচ্চা।
ফুদি দে।
আচ্ছা বাঘের মতন যাবি।
আমি কইতাছি ওখানে খুইলা আসো না আমি তাই না ছিড়া ফেলামু কইলাম।
আমার খানদানি পোশাক তুমি তাই না ছিঁড়া ফেলাইবা?
আমার ফোন দাও।
ফোন নিবা না। আমারে কইছো বন্ধুর লগে কথা কও। তুমি তো এঞ্জেল সোনিয়ার লগে কথা কও। কি?
তারপর বউরে দিয়ে হাত পাটি পাইছে, এর বাদে বউরে কইছে পানি লয়ে আহো, বউ পানি লয়ে আইছে, এই পানি দিচ্ছে ফালায়া।
আম্মা, আব্বা, রুডি সুরত দেখছেন? রুডি এরকম তেরে বাগা খেলা, হ্যাঁ? রুডি হবো সুন্দর। আব্বা আমারে না হয় তুমি বুঝাইলা, তুমি তোমার খানদানের কি বুঝাইবা, আমার আত্মীয় স্বজনের কি বুঝাইবা?
আমি দুঃখিত।
বইয়ের হাতে মার খাওয়া চলে, তাই কিছু কই নাইকা।
আমাগোর খানদানে জামাই মারনের নিয়ম নাইকা।
তুই আমার এখান থেকে যাবি না মানে কি? অক্ষণ তুই বেরোবি।
আব্বা
কুইল যে কাপে না?
ওই বেটা ওই তোর কইলজা কাপে না মিছা কথা কইতে, হ্যাঁ? হারাম খোর জানি কোনানকার।
মাগার মারামারিতে 1 নম্বর।
আমি পারি। এখন মনটা চাইতেছে তোমার কান্দের উপর চড়ায় একটা আসার মারি।
ঠিক আছে ভাই, তাহলে আমার মুখ চুপ বন্ধ থাকবো, আর কেউ আমি কিছু কমু না, মুখে কষ্টি।
এখন লাইনে আইছস।
তোমাদেরকে আমার পরিচয় মানুষ চিনে, তোমাকে চেনে, ইউ আর দ্য ফাদার অফ ম্যাক্স দ্য প্র্যাঙ্কস্টার, ঠিক আছে? তোমাকেও মা
বিরাট স্টার।
বাট আমি চাইবো আমার ফার্স্ট মিটিংটা অনেক গ্লোরিয়াস হোক। আর যদি সে ফ্রড হয় তাহলে কিন্তু ওর খবরই আছে, একদম থাপড়ায় সব দাঁত ফেলে দিব। যাই হোক, দেখা যাক কি হয়। আমার লেট হচ্ছে দোস্ত, রাখি। হ্যাঁ,
টিন্ডার থেকে তুমি এর আগে আর কারোর সাথে কফি ডেট করেছো আমি ছাড়া?
হোয়াট? আমাকে কি দেখে মনে হয় চিপ? আমি এক্সক্লুসিভ ভার্সন, ওকে? আই এম নট অ্যাভেলেবল। কি ছিল? কি ছিল?
প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, বিশ্বাস হচ্ছে না? এই যে
Prank
আই সুইট, আই সুইট, ওই যে দেখেন মনোপড নিয়ে দাঁড়ায় আছে, এই যে আরেকজন ইফতে, একদম একদম গুলি করে দিব মাথার মধ্যে, ফুটা করে একদম এদিক দিয়ে বাইর করে ফেলবো। কি আছে বাইর কর?
কিচ্ছু নেই।
দে দে, হাত কিলু কালি, দে 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 দে।
হ্যাঁ দোস্ত, ওই যে প্র্যাঙ্ক বাজ, ওই যে কি জানি একটা ছেলে আছে না, ফালতু, সারাক্ষণ মানুষকে ধোকা দিয়ে বেড়ায়, ওকে চিনিস তুই?
হ্যাঁ চিনবো না কেন, ওকে না চিনার কি আছে? ওকে চিনা না এমন কেউ আছে?
এই শিখেছি ধরে 50 কি টেলিলেন্স নাকি? হ্যাঁ 85 ইউজ করবি, দরকার পড়লে তোর আমি 70-200 কিনা দিব।
তুই টেনশন করিস না। হ্যাঁ
কোনো চোর না, চুরি না, ডাকাতি না, এটা প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, টোটালি প্র্যাঙ্ক। প্র্যাঙ্ক শিখাইছে উস্তাদ। কেমন হলো প্র্যাঙ্ক? এটা সত্যি সত্যি প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, আমি ক্ষমা চাচ্ছি, সত্যি সত্যি প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল। এ ভাই দেখেন দেখেন দেখেন, কালোই তো করবো। আরে আপা, আপনি তো এমনিতেই সুন্দর।
বাবাকে সালাম কর, আরেকবার সালাম কর। মা, আমার বিয়ে করা বউ, তোমাদের বৌমা।
আমি আসছি তো, আমি সব ঠিক করে ফেলবো। তুমি বসো, বসো তো, এখানে বসো, আমি দেখছি। আন্টি, আঙ্কেল,
Please, I'll eat anything else, just not this. No, that is your tray, and that is your banana. Eat it. This kid goes to a small private school, the kind where everybody knows everybody, and lunch is always the same. Same trays, same rotations, and the same lunch aides watching over the room. Well, there was this one lunch aide, and for some reason, she did not like this kid at all. She never said it out loud, but you could tell. It was obvious. Other kids could toss their full milk away, leave veggies on their trays, just waste food, but him, for some reason, she watched his tray every single day, making sure he eats every last bit of food on the tray, which is absolutely insane in my opinion. Well, one day the school serves bananas, and this kid hates bananas. Can't stand the smell, he doesn't even like to touch them. He pushes the banana to the side and starts eating the rest of his food, hoping she wouldn't notice because he knows how she is. And here she comes. She stands right next to him and points to his tray. Eat the banana. I don't like bananas. Doesn't matter, you're not getting up till that tray is empty, young man. Can I give it to somebody else, please? No, it's your lunch. You eat what you were served. While everyone else finishes eating, the table clears out, lunch is over, and he's still sitting there just staring at the banana. Eventually, he picks it up, takes one bite, and gags. He tries again, he gags again, and he throws up right there in the table. You're absolutely pathetic. Then she says this, go to class, and next time, don't make such a big scene. That lady is the worst.